somebody, chances are somebody's going to reach out to them, and the text wakes them up, and there they are. And of the cases I've had in my office, okay, where bad things have happened, it has been when a kid has had access to that phone at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, or iPad or laptop. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
My daughter's Facebook account comes to my smartphone.
Yes, it pings you every time something.
Yeah, it tells me everything that anybody says to her.
Yes.
And these kids are talking 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They're sending stuff across Facebook.
Yeah.
Which means their parents are allowing them to be online at that time.
Yeah. Or they're not, they may not be allowed
they're
it,
asleep
they're
in their
just not being vigilant and saying,
because the parent didn't put it in their room in a secure place.
Yeah.
But,
you know, I have my Facebook account and then my daughter's, and they both come straight to my telephone. That way I can keep up with what is in hers.
Yeah. But you know, I'm going to play you a little YouTube video that takes about a minute and a half after you've had a chance to speak. I'll be queuing it up, okay, to show you something. But so it's important for us as parents and adults to model, okay, desirable behavior. So that means, guess what, guys? We've got to unplug too. And that's hard. That's challenging. My iPhone, like I said, I left it in the car. Hope it's still there when I go out. It's my answering service. It's how clients get in touch with me. It's how my answering service gets in touch with me. It's how I answer emails from business colleagues. I'm on that thing all day long, and because I don't have a secretary or a receptionist, it really expedites my life. But when I go home, if I'm not careful, I'm still checking that crazy thing. Of course, I do have to listen for on-call. But short of that, if I'm not careful, I stay glued into that all night long, thinking I'll just get this one more email answered, I'll get this one more text answered, and then I won't have to do it tomorrow. So I don't have kids at home, but I have a husband at home who would like to see me less frazzled, and I would like to spend time with him and be less frazzled. So I've really got kind of a rule for myself. After 8 o'clock at night, it goes on the counter where I can hear it. If it dings, because I've got clients that might have emergencies, but short of that, I don't deal with it after 8 o'clock at night. Okay? So we've got to unplug as well and connect with our people and model that. So it needs to be house and family rules about after such and such a time, none of us are going to be connected unless we've got a project that's due tomorrow or something like that, unless it's a special circumstance. So let me kind of wrap my piece for right now. Those first 38 pages, I think it was, if you can just briefly read over those, there's some really good information, just points, tips on how to listen, how to connect, how to make rules, the do's and the don'ts, things that work, things that generally don't. We're going to talk next week a little bit more about the managing the social media. I'll have that handout for you. We're going to talk about personality and just the role that plays in understanding how you respond to your child, because that does make a difference in parenting teenagers. And resolving conflict. How do you teach your kids how to fight fair? Disagree, okay? Most of us think fighting is wrong. Really, fighting, arguing, whatever you would call it, disagreeing is pretty inevitable if you're going to live with another person, unless it's a clone of you. But so that's not an issue. What is, though, is how do I learn how, because it's not something we're born knowing, how do I learn how to fight in a way that is fair, respectful, constructive, where I respect the person I'm disagreeing with, where I am fair and reasonable in how I approach that, and how do we work together to move through the conflict where both of us, where we come out with something that we can both live with, okay? So we're talking about that between adults in the home. How do parents stay in charge in a way that's not an iron fist? That tends to breed rebellion, okay? So we're going to talk some about that next week as well. Is there anything else that you can think of that I did not mention that you want to make sure I talk about next week, and I'll be ready for that? Yes, sir?
I guess I have a problem with consequences. Like if they do X, what's an appropriate?
Yes.
Besides like, you're grounded forever.
Right, because that doesn't work. Okay.
Taking your phone forever.
Yeah,
Yes. We
or just
will,
throwing the phone out the window.
yeah, we won't include
That
that.
guy broke his daughter's laptop.
In that material that you're gonna be reading is some real good material, and we will go back. Can I borrow your pen a second, because that looks like it's broken. There is some really good material on that, and we will go over that again just to kind of highlight that, because you're right, that's, how to do consequences is really important, okay?
Well, especially with girls, it's like you take away their phone, now you're like, okay, now I can't talk to her, and I don't know where she is.
Yeah,
That's
you're
a
more
great-
punished.
That's-
You're
yeah,
more
it's like-
punished by the punishment you
How do
gave
we
them.
give them
Yeah.
consequences without shooting ourselves in the foot, and making our lives even more difficult?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
How do you deal with the really smart kids?
Sneaky,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so challenging children.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So the
okay.
ones that you take away their phone, but then they borrow another friend's phone.
Like my daughter.
Yeah,
You know, they got these $15 prepaid Verizon phones
well,
that they can flip back and forth between each other and,
the good news is they're creative, they're smart.
Yeah.
They'll probably go a long way in life,
that,
as long as
that's
you
what
manage to
kills
keep
me
them on the
because
right
I
side
know
of
how
the-
smart they are.
Yeah, so dealing with creative, strong-willed children, does that capture that?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the child that has a parent wrapped around their finger.
Or thinks they do, okay?
Yeah.
Manipulative, okay.
What about making them understand to take care of themselves first and stop worrying about, like, my daughter? She's always had my nephew, and now they're at school together all day too. She tends to mother him and take care of him, and there's a lot of times she'll forget and not do something for herself that she should have done.
Oh, okay.
And she's always coming home telling me what so-and-so did, her best friend, and I'm like, well, what did you do? Well, she needs to learn to focus on her and what she's supposed to be doing at the moment.
But on that
I don't want to discourage that because I don't want her to be selfish either.